to the first edition of the Nahajita Bookathon presented in association with the Raisoni Foundation. In this session, we shall explore the book You Inside You, the art of sinking with the flow journey from the tumultuous currents of desire to the serene shores of spiritual surrender. Each chapter is a stepping stone towards greater self awareness and inner harmony. The book begins with the fundamental themes of the human condition and traverses the stages of desire, attachment, and control, confronting your deepest fears and insecurities along the way. With practical try it out wisdom nuggets and flow trips interwoven throughout, this book offers tools to integrate mindfulness, simplicity, and surrender into your daily routine. Uncover a roadmap for navigating life's complexities and discover the hidden depths of your being. You Inside You, The Art of Sinking with Flow, is more than just a book. It's a transformative experience guiding you towards the deeper understanding of yourself and the flow of existence. Are you ready to embark on this journey of self discovery? Our speaker, Anish Baheti, is an author who transcends boundaries, journeying through various continents and cultures. As a four-time TEDx speaker, award-winning author, and Ikigai awakener, he ignites inspiration and purpose in others. His previous book, The Life Deck, sheds light on the complexities of life, crafting narratives that resonate universally. With his latest book, You Inside You, The Art of Sinking with the Flow, released on June 16, 2024, he encourages readers to explore both their inner and outer worlds, fostering a state of flow. As an experienced solo traveler, Anish has explored 36 countries, sharing tales of adventure and self discovery. Having traveled 50,000 solar kilometers across 26 Indian states and 4 neighboring countries, he embodies the spirit of exploration. Born in India and shaped in Australia, Anish's story is a blend of diverse influences. Transitioning from a career as a chartered accountant to becoming an Ikigai coach, he helps others find their purpose and passion. With humble beginnings, he values human connection and empathy. As the founder of Train My Brain, Anish delivers keynote speeches worldwide, sharing insights from his rich experiences and offering transformative journeys. At 45, his continual exploration and growth inspire audiences globally, from the USA to Dubai, Australia, and India. Now, I would like to hand over this session to the speaker.
Hello, everyone. My name is Anish Baheti, and I love to basically go on solo bike rides across India as well as, I've done few cross countries as well. And usually my motorcycle journey lasts for about 50 days. So 10,000 kilometers, 50 days is a standard sort of a trip which I do. Doing one such trip to Tawang, which is in Arunachal Pradesh, I made a stop at Bomdila Monastery. So I was on the road for about 10, 12 hours, if I'm not wrong. And then I felt like, okay, I should take a halt here. And in a monastery is something which I really enjoy and love. So I thought to take a halt at Bomdila Monastery. You know, I was just about to retire to bed because it was a long day and I was about to retire to bed. And then suddenly I heard a gentle knock on the door, a Tibetan monk in his red robe. Just mentioned that, so we have a Losar ceremony or a Losar festival, which is basically Tibetan's New Year festival. Then very next day at 3 o'clock in the morning in Gompa. Gompa is basically a temple, Tibetan temple. So he asked me if I would love to join. And I said, like, I thought that it will be very difficult for me to wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning. So I, said, okay, I will try, but I was not sure. So I took a hot shower and then I retired and, just slept. And suddenly at 2:51 a.m., without putting any alarm or without putting any sort of a reminder, I woke up. I just simply woke up at 2:51 a.m. sharp. So thinking that is a sign that I need to visit the ceremony, I simply took a quick shower and just 3 minutes walk from the monastery where I was staying. This Gompa temple was there and I went and attended the entire ceremony. The reason I'm sharing this with you is sometimes things happen naturally. Sometimes we don't plan. uh, I think most of the time we don't plan. We are in an illusion that we are making the plans. We are under an illusion that we are trying to control our life. But in a way, the the force, the nature, universe, God, Almighty, whatever name you want to give, it has already designed a plan for us. So we try to outsmart it at times, but it doesn't work like that. So the reason I'm sharing this story is that was, and I had a lot of incidents like this. Like I've done 50,000 kilometers on bike trip, 26 states of India and four neighboring countries, and I get this sort of different signs and omens, and from strangers, for all the time I get this sort of directions, which makes me realize that a lot of things are shaping up in your life. We are simply walking on this path, and a lot of things are just falling into place, or things which are not meant to fall into your path is simply just disappearing without you even realizing it. The book which I wrote, the book which I really want to talk about today, this sort of incidents which happened in my life, I realized that I should be documenting this through my own experience, which I've gone through. And that's how I came up with this book. It's called as You Inside You, The Art of Syncing with the Flow. And this book explores the concept of living in sync, which involves a smooth and harmonious existence free from conflict or resistance. It challenges the idea that we are solely that we think that we are solely in control of life, but actually life is unfolding naturally without we even realizing it, as I mentioned in my incident initially. The whole idea is that we should be embracing this natural harmony, and we should be free to let go a lot of things, free to let go of our illusion of control over things, and learn to be in sync with this natural force of the universe. It also revolves around this timeless debate which we always have, that whether we should be exerting control over towards our life, or we should be simply become lazy and just let it happen the way it is happening. Do we do anything about it, or should we just simply sit and let it happen? So just want to talk about when you should be when you should be controlling your life, when you should be, instead of saying controlling, let's say when you should be giving a small direction towards your life, and most of the time how you should be able to flow the life. So in a way, it's a journey from life's prelude and first breath to graceful death and mystical unity. So in this short sort of video, I really want to take you through the journey of the entire book, each chapters. I'm just trying to give you a short glimpse of what the chapter involves. And each chapter, at the end of the chapter, has got 3 tips which anyone can follow. And, 3 try it out, if you want to say try it out, techniques which you can follow in your daily life. And 1 flow tip at the end of each chapter. So you can simply read the chapter and then go through those try it out exercises and the flow tip. The chapters are also written in a very easy to understand language. It's not a very thick book, as you can see, it's just 140 odd pages. A lot of spiritual leaders, a lot of people who are, at the start, when we were writing this book, when I was going, it took me almost about 1 year to complete this book. And when I was going through that journey, a lot of people who had experienced flow in their life. Flow in a simple way is that you're not trying to exert any sort of a control. You're simply just flowing because you're in that zone. You just let things happen. Time dilates and you are allowing things to happen. So there are musicians, there are poets, there are doctors, surgeons, spiritual leaders, directors of company, army background people, triathlete, poets, authors, all those people who have experienced flow have written something for the book as part of the testimonial. When you open up the book, you will see a few pages. And they all have experienced flow in their own form, not only people from India, but also people from Germany, Australia, Dubai, different countries. And they have documented their sort of experience, what flow means to them. So you can read that also to understand their perspective. And then it opens up with an introduction, basically what this book is all about, how it came into being, which I've given you a small glimpse of it. And there are, how the entire journey took place. And then it tells you how the book has been structured. So there are negative sort of situations which is going to restrict the flow. What are negative things which are going to restrict the flow? And then there is a midpoint somewhere which tells you like what you should be doing, whether you should be rowing or flowing, which I'm going to talk about very shortly in this video. And then it starts with what are the positive things which you can implement, what are the positive things which you can actually inculcate into your life to experience flow in your own life. So it starts with life's prelude. Now, what is life's prelude? Before birth, we merge with the cosmic rhythm, preparing for our life on earth, like in a waiting room. Our birth marks our transition into earthly life, where we embrace human experience in love. Throughout our journey, we are guided by universal forces, always in sync with the cosmic flow. So before we were even born, before we even took our first breath, we were part of this cosmic rhythm, and we were already in a state of flow with the universe. That's the first chapter. And from there, when we entered into this world, the first inhalation, we not only took oxygen, but we also absorbed the essence of the universe itself. And it's a beautiful reminder of the interconnectedness with all living things in this world. It also serves the first breath which we took. It also serves as a reminder of the impermanence of our life. It's a small, gentle nudge to cherish each fleeting moment. So, in this way, the first breath is setting the stage for the unfolding drama of our existence, which finds its beginning rooted in the primal essence of desire. So it all starts with desire. As soon as we take the first breath, we need more air, we need more food, we need this, we need that. So the first breath is an indication of fulfilling your desire, fulfilling your need. And that's how we introduce the third chapter, which is called as Desire Trap. Now, just to give you an example, just as the top of one hill is the bottom of another, so are our this never-ending needs and desires. Our desires are never-ending. Always wanting more and more. We need that. We need this car. We need this home. We need that career. Always requiring more and more. And this continuous requirement to fulfill our needs creates a lot of dissatisfaction. And it's absolutely impossible to appreciate our present moment and desire more at the same time. It's impossible. If you want to desire more at the same time, if you want to enjoy the present moment, it will never go hand in hand. So, in a way, desiring more is going to break the syncing with the flow, or is going to break your flow state. So, what shall you do? So, just to give you a small flow tip from the book, extend the space between addressing two needs. So, imagine you have fulfilled one need and suddenly you desire to fulfill another need. Just extend that space between the two needs. and infuse it with appreciation of having satisfied the previous need. So that will also build gratitude. That will also give you a room to enjoy what you have just accomplished and allow it to sink in. And then maybe if you need to fulfill another desire, if it's required, it's completely necessary because you don't have to fulfill all desires. You need to filter it out. But if you extend that space, it will build that sort of a room for you. And it will also help you to build appreciation and gratitude. Now, closely linked to desire trap is the next chapter, which is dissatisfied mind. Food cravings, substance craving, pleasure cravings, success cravings, relationship cravings, novelty cravings, and even spiritual cravings. These are all temporary fixes, or I would rather say these are all your distractions. So, what do we do to resolve these ongoing cravings? Should we stop craving? You can adopt. So let me just give you one tip again from the book. You can maybe take an approach of buy one, give one. In that way, if you are trying to say have some sort of a novelty craving, okay, you need some sort of a novelty in your life. You want to buy a new garment for yourself. Okay. If you want to buy one garment, make some room in your life and give one garment to somebody else. So buy one, give one approach. And also release your need to compare. Because a lot of time we build cravings because of comparison. Okay? Release your need to compare. That person is having their sort of a life. They have got that, but you don't have to compare it with your own life and try and create more cravings in your life. Okay. Their situation might be different. Your situation is different. So try and release one comparison if you can today. That is another tip. Then with dissatisfied mind, along with dissatisfied mind, there is something called as impulsive behavior. And there's a lot of genetic components involved in increasing your impulsivity. There could be imbalances in neurotransmitters such as dopamine and serotonin, which can disrupt brain function, and it can increase your impulsive behavior by impairing decision-making process. One of the technique or one of the small sort of a thing that you can actually do is intentionally make a conscious decision, intentionally delay your reaction, even for a few minutes, a couple of minutes, before acting on your next impulse. So just pause, maybe just give a mental pause. Okay, I want to just grab that. I just want to buy that. If you get into some sort of a shopping center environment and you feel like, okay, I need to buy this, I need to buy that. Allow yourself a couple of minutes. Don't distract, don't do anything. Initially, you might have to distract yourself because you're so much trained to get into that zone that everyone is doing that. Okay, I have to do it. Or everyone is buying that. There's a sale, 50% off, 70% off. Okay, let me buy that. So it is going to build your impulsive behavior. But just allow yourself 2 minutes. Initially, you can distract yourself. Do something else or just check your phone and do something else just to distract your impulsive behavior. But as you march into this technique, as you do this more and more in your life, you will realize that you don't even have to distract. You can simply be there. You can sit for a couple of minutes and you will realize that that impulse has already disappeared. Naturally, it has disappeared from your life. It's not required. So that's impulsive behavior. The next chapter talks about being busy. Title is Busy Bee. But why are we always so busy? I don't understand. Why are we so constantly busy doing something here? We can't say no to everyone. We have to attend that event. We have to attend that wedding. We need to go to this This celebration, we have to go and do. We have so many things. Our calendars are completely chock-a-block, and we feel like answering every single call. We feel like looking at every single notification. The reason we feel constantly busy is in today's world, doing is more value than non-doing. Staying busy also helps us to numb that empty feeling, because what happens is when you are doing nothing, when you are sitting by yourself, not even checking your phone, there are a lot of questions you need to answer from your own self. You start getting those questions which you really don't want to answer, and that's the reason you want to feel busy. You want to distract yourself, you want to go do this and do that, so that you don't have to answer those core questions which are coming from within. But sometimes just shifting our perspective from being absorbers to active observers, absorbers to active observers, it holds the key to transcend perpetual cycle which we are all involved in terms of being busy. So simply by observing and watching your thoughts, simply by sitting in solitude by yourself, will make it help will help you to observe and witness what's going on instead of being involved and absorbed in the situation. Next to busy bee, we have something called as attachment mess, and it is actually a mess. You know, the biggest problem we all face today is attachment. Attachment to our body, attachment to our relationship, attachment to our family, attachment to our business, attachment to our cars, attachment to our garments. Everywhere we are so much attached. And letting go of attachment proves to be a challenging task. It is because we are attached because it helps us feel more cozy in our comfort zone. The allure of familiarity and the fear of unknown make it difficult to renounce our grip on the things that we hold dear. Not only things, but also people. So a small tip here: on a scale of 1 to 10, with 10 being the most comfort or utmost comfort, how willing are you to fully accept the person closest to you in your life exactly as they are, without trying to be too much attached, without trying to be too much controlling them in a way to change? How comfortable you are on a scale of 1 to 10 to be detached, in a way detached and attached with that person without exerting control. Try it out for your own self. With attachment mess, the next following chapter talks about dependency addiction. Again, it's a very strong word because when we depend on someone, we get addicted in a way. And I'm specifically going to talk about codependent relationship. What is codependent relationship? One individual, known as an enabler, assumes the role of a caretaker for the other person. Now, signs of codependency relationship includes excessive people pleasing. When we say people pleasing behavior, there is that sort of a relationship. It's basically codependent relationship. Fear of being neglected, difficulty in setting boundaries, poor sense of self-worth. These are all signs of codependency relationship. So if you look at that sort of a relationship, it will disrupt the flow state in a way, because when the enabler is trying to control the behavior of the person who's dependent on that individual is anyway is going to give way, or just simply because they don't want to feel neglected, they want to just do what the enabler is asking them to do. And in that state, they are not actually there in their natural self, and that breaks the flow state. So instead of codependency relationship, why not try an interdependence relationship? Interdependency between two individuals, where you give emotional space to the person who is dependent on you. Let them take their own call, let them take their own decision. And instead of being in that, the transition from being in a codependent relationship to an interdependent relationship might just give them more sense of self-worth, which is very important. The next chapter which we talk about is about emotional investment. Emotional investment can sometimes result in clinging behavior. So if you're highly or heavily invested emotionally in one person, or even with your pet, or even with some things, mobile phone or whatever you want to go, if you're emotionally invested, it's going to create a clinging behavior. You want to cling to that person, you want to cling to that pet, you want to cling to that thing. But remember, like any investment, there are no guaranteed returns. In fact, there are no return without the potential risk of significant disappointment, especially with humans. So you might get disappointed when the other person is the amount of investment which you have done emotionally with that person. You're not getting the same back from that individual. So you might feel disappointed. So I would say one of the tips which is mentioned in the book is that you prioritize self-love. You prioritize nurturing your own well-being. And that way, if you want to invest, you are actually investing emotionally in your own self, making yourself emotionally stronger, building your EQ. Emotional investment and the next chapter, which is about control madness, they are closely linked. So there is a tribe called as Hopi tribe, which is from northern Arizona. And they suggest through its spiritual arc that we should refrain from controlling others, as spirit resides within each of us. So if you're trying to control somebody else, in a way, you're trying to control their spirit, and it should never be controlled. Okay. Lack of trust, rigid thinking, sleep deprivation, stifled creativity, strained relationship, and fatigue physically, emotionally, mentally. These are just some of the outcomes of excessive control. So if you feel that, oh, my creativity has gone down, I'm feeling always tired, lazy, you're trying to control a lot of things. And that is showing in your physical and mental well-being. So one of the flow tip which has been mentioned in the book is about scheduling a release and trust ritual. So you release the control, you release the need to control a lot of things. Try and see what are the things which you can release today in terms of controlling. And trust. Trust the unfolding. Trust that the force, the nature, the universe is going to actually give you what you are supposed to get. Rather than chasing it, let it fall in your lap naturally. Doesn't mean that we don't have to exert, we don't have to simply just sit and be lazy. No, but you're doing what you're supposed to do, but then with a very relaxed sort of mindset, not trying to control the outcome. You do everything in your capacity to do what you're supposed to do with 100% dedication in the entire process. But then when the outcome comes, do not try to control it. Let it naturally happen. So release and trust ritual, if you can inculcate that on a daily basis into your life, that will help you in achieving the state of flow. The next chapter talks about tissue issue. So what is tissue issue? The higher the intensity of an emotion, the greater the chances of them being trapped. If you're very sad, if you're very emotional about something which has happened, you have too much guilt, or you have too much fear, you have got too much irritation, pain, suffering, all that is, if it is in a higher level of intensity, it is possible that it's going to be stored into your body somewhere in the form of some sort of a bodily pain. Like, that's the reason we have titled it tissue issue, issues in your tissues. Not all emotions are healthy and positive, you know that, right? And that's the reason, if negative emotions come in your life and it's being trapped, it will impact in your body somewhere, some of the tissues. Would you believe that worry is centered in the stomach and sorrows in the lungs? One of the tips which I have explained in the book is doing a progressive muscle relaxation exercise on your own. Or if you even want to listen to some, you know, relaxation exercises, completely fine. When you're trying to relax your body one step at a time, one, you know, bodily part at a time, in a way you're relaxing that section of your body. That will really help you to release that tension, to release that sort of, you know, emotions which has been trapped. So muscle relaxation exercises. Next to tissue issue chapter is pain chain of pain. Issues stored in your tissue result in both physical and emotional pain. Physical pain can be from an illness or an injury which needs medical attention. So you need to take care of the physical injury, you need to take medical attention. But most of the time, mental or emotional pain requires a lot of self supervision, requires a lot of self observation and self introspection. So my question to you is, can you foster mindfulness to connect pain with its lesson? Can you try and see what is that pain trying to teach you? What is the lesson that pain is giving you? Just think about it. So far we have discussed all the things which are going to stop you, or which are going to reduce you to achieve the state of flow. And this is where a book takes a turning point, and we introduce a topic, or we introduce a chapter called this row/flow. So a lot of people ask me, Anish, if flow is something which you're talking about, if flow is something which you really want to speak about, why not simply just, let things happen as it is naturally happening? And we just simply sit, someone is going to put the food on the table. When time comes, someone is going to give you the money. Why do we need to do anything? So then I give them an example. I use an analogy of, imagine that you are in a boat on a river, and there are three ways of taking the journey. First way is that you are trying and you are exerting a lot of effort to control the boat's direction. So you're rowing too high, too fast, taking a lot of time and energy and effort to row against the current also. You want to reach somewhere else and you're trying your level best to do that. That's one way of leading it. Second is to become completely lazy. Don't do anything. Let the current take you wherever it wants to take you. You simply sit and enjoy, enjoy. And then you might be surprised that this is not the destination where you want it to be, because the current is going to take wherever the boat will be taken by the current, wherever it wants to take it. So you might be surprised where you actually landed up. That's number two. And the third way, which is what the entire book is all about, the third way is that you need to give a little direction and then enjoy the flow. You need to give a slight direction to the current and then enjoy the flow. So row/flow. The decisions we make, the actions we take, and the responsibilities we assume is the rowing part. But as I said, there is also an essence of flowing, an effortless surrender to the currents of the life, currents of the universe, allowing us to be carried away with grace and ease. So, when to row and when to flow in your life, that is a call, that is a decision which you need to make. How much to row and how much to flow is a decision which you need to make. But this is an insight which will help you, that you're not always controlling and you're not always completely flowing with wherever the universe is taking you. You're being mindful, you're taking efforts, you're rowing when it is required, and then flowing most of the time. And that is when the book turns into more on the lines where, like, after that chapter, all chapters are related to how you can build this flow. So the next chapter is live simply. The pace of society that we live in today is fast. And if you choose a slower path, it will not be an easy switch. You will get odd looks for both doing less and owning less. Simple living means that you remove all that is considered noise from your life. Anything which is not going to benefit you to become simpler, to become simple is noise. The question is, do you have an ability, do you have that strength to silence that noise in your life and lead a more simpler life? The more simpler life you live, the more you are connected with the universe, the more you are connected with syncing with the flow state. So just to give you an example, make your own yogurt or bake your own pizza from scratch. Enjoy the process. Keep it simple. Keep it natural. And today, for 1 hour, do absolutely nothing. Just simply sit and do nothing. Let's try that. The second thing which I mentioned, the following chapter, is basically having a childlike innocence. In Zen Buddhism, we have a term called as, we have a word called as Soshin. Soshin is referring to a beginner's mind that is open to absorbing everything with wonder and flexibility. This childlike innocence within us reflects our innate basic goodness, allowing us to express warmth, kindness, instead of resorting to selfish or aggressive behavior. It's already inside us. This childlike innocence is already inside us. We are unaware of it. It's hidden, basically. The layers and layers of perceptions and the kind of life which we have led so far, it has been hidden. But the childlike innocence is already inside us. So the more you do things in an innocent state or in a childlike innocent state, the more you're connected with the universe, the more you will feel you're connected. You can see, when you look at a child playing, you know how absorbed they are in that activity. Time dilates for them. They're so much enjoying the entire process. So building that sort of an innocence, or actually it's already in there, and just helping that childlike innocence come up in your life will help you be in a state of flow. The next topic of chapter talks about having a mellow tempo. Mellow tempo is more like slow living. So we have talked about simple living. Now I'm going to talk about slow living. So single tasking, doing things mindfully, leading a frugal lifestyle, doing DIY project, do it yourself, reducing waste, conserving energy, avoiding impulse behavior or purchases. All that will help you lead a very slow life. Even think of taking a break and going to countryside for a while, or maybe just from the hustle and bustle of the city life, just one day if you go and take a journey to a countryside and see how life is naturally being led, how slow life is actually helping you declutter your mind, declutter your life, and a lot of clarity will come through to slow living. The next chapter is about middle way, and it emerges from the story of Buddha realizing how important the middle way is. Like, both the extreme is not good in your life to achieve anything. The middle path is absolutely helpful in terms of achieving. And that's where we come to the concept of being in state of balance. So the story of Buddha actually serves as a timeless reminder of the importance of balance and moderation in all aspects of our life. Autophagy, the body's recycling process, is enhanced during fasting. But again, if you do that, do it in balanced state, do it in moderation, do it once in a while. Again, keeping that middle way, middle path in mind. But it will also be, it will help you detoxify a lot of, your body. It will also help you with your impulsive behavior. It's going to help you in a lot of aspects. So trying to inculcate the middle path, middle way in your life will help you build your flow state. Then the next chapter is about collecting dots. So it's not about connecting the dots. The idea is to collect the dots. Various events, various ideas, experiences, people, things which has happened in your life. You're trying to collect it like a jigsaw puzzle, you know. And then once you have gathered it, you will be amazed that okay, this person, this event, this individual came into my life to teach me this. And that's when you start connecting the dots. Collecting dots is also going to help you build the state of gratitude that you are here because of this many things, and you should be grateful to God for that. So collecting dots is also one of the chapter which will help you build the state of flow. Next is my favorite, which is easy meditation. And meditation can be done using breath, it can be done using mantra, it can be counting beads, it could be gazing at a visual or a flame, listening to some sort of a gong sound. Uh, there are some advanced meditation where dance meditation is involved, awareness, sensation awareness is involved. So the various meditation. You can pick and choose whichever meditation technique you want. But you will be surprised that when you practice any meditation, when you do a proper meditation practice, it will also help build the inner strength, and it will dissolve the fear of death from your life. Then we have few topics on intuition, how intuition helps build your state of flow. There is a technique which I've introduced there. It's called as 36912 style in the book. It helps build intuition. When we talk about how intuition whispers and emptiness speaks. Emptiness speaks louder than intuition. And just doing a Tai Chi movement or Qigong, as they say, Qigong activity. It helps to create that emptiness within. Mexican shamans always say the significance of achieving mental emptiness in your life. After that, we talk about nature, how nature heals. A plant have capacity to not only heal your physical wounds but also emotional ones. So we talk about how being in the nature can help you build the state of flow, build your gratitude and compassion towards the entire universe. So you can engage in forest bathing. That is one of the tips which has been mentioned there. Then we talk about heart sync, how your hearts are synced with other person's heart, how we are all connected. Then we talk about actionless action, how you should be able to involve in any activity without having this sort of a syndrome, which we say, this should be like this syndrome. Okay, this is how I want it to happen syndrome. So how you can actually get rid of that and just be completely devoted in that activity In a state of actionless action, you're performing effortless effort. Then we talk about how to be in a state of being tuned in, how to be tuned into the universe omens. By reflecting on them and connecting the dots, we come to realize that we are always in the right place at the right time, with the right resources, sharing the right resources with the right people. So that is the, in a way, it is also called as vibrationless vibration. Then we talk about spiritual surrender. How surrender? What is surrender? What is the real meaning of surrender? Instead of asking why is this happening to me, what is pure surrender? It's not defeat. It's not submission. It's a conscious choice to align with the natural order of universe, to open up the state of flow in your life. And then the last two chapters are about graceful death, how we should be celebrating death. People who have experienced near death experience will tell that their fear of death has diminished. They believe that death should be celebrated because it marks the beginning of a new journey. Remember that instead of viewing death as a source of fear, you should consider it as a tool to facilitate the soul's manifestation again. And then the last chapter talks about mystical unity. So rather than seeking enlightenment, make yourself or focus on making yourself worthy so that enlightenment happens naturally to you. Dissolving the sense of boundaries between yourself and somebody else, universe and yourself, and you're experimenting, imagining everything is within you. They're all part of you. They are all connected with you. Even the stones, even the plants, even the animals, or the human beings, they're all connected with you. Just as the river merges with the ocean, so too does the soul merges with the infinite cosmos, liberated from the confines of individuality and embraced by the universe whole. That's the last chapter. So I hope you enjoyed the conversation, a bit, not a conversation, but a glimpse of this book, which is called as You Inside You. Make sure you read this. If possible, it's available on all the platforms, both in India and globally. And I hope you will get some insight. And I truly wish that you experience a state of flow in your life, and feel free to write me back if you can. Thank you very much. Thanks a lot for listening.